Why is Delaware one of the best places on earth for dentists to do their dentisting thing? I'm here with my awesome friend, Dentist Job Connect client, Dane Stokes, Chief People Officer of the REM team, and we're going to share a few things. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone the REM team is sponsoring our amazing Dentist Job Connect social on October 4th. It is totally free to attend. Show up, meet new people, make new friends, have your life change. Facebook is great, but also, and showing up face-to-face to meet people is just as great. So Dane, you have been on Talking Nachos before. Welcome back. Orient our audience a little bit about what you do and how we can help you guys grow, live your best dentisting life, develop your team to succeed.
Yeah. No, glad to be back, Paul. Thanks for having me as always, and excited to, I guess, help sponsor this event next week. I live in Philly, so it's always nice to have events up my way. I work down here in Delaware at least 4 days, typically 5 days a week, and I can promise anybody that's in that Philadelphia region, the commute is worthwhile to come down here and practice. So yeah, I am the Chief People Officer for REM. We have a family of practices, 3 general dental practices and 3 specialty practices. 5 of those 6 located in the great state of Delaware, which is a good place to come practice dentistry, and it's a great team to come join for a lot of reasons that I hope we can get into.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm sharing, and I say this with part affection, part jealousy, part, challenges I face in New Jersey. Delaware, let's just talk for a minute in a broad picture way. Why Delaware has some great opportunities for dentists. Why is it an opportunity to help patients do procedures that are, beyond just fillings for certain people? And also, why is there a need for dentists there? So kind of walk us through that evergreen, why Delaware is an awesome opportunity to practice.
Yeah, I mean, it is an awesome opportunity. And like Paul said, I think for us and the way we think and take care of our patients and kind of the comprehensive model that we have, being part of our team affords you all of those things. So coming down to work for us, especially within our GP practices, we tend to have kind of, super GPs is what I hear a term today, where we have a lot of docs that have gone on and specialized in a lot of different CEs. So they have the opportunity to do basic bread and butter dentistry. And as they build the skills, they can also do some more advanced services. We have doctors doing endo every day, doctors placing implants every day, doing some more advanced gum procedures, because that's the passion that they've taken, and we can afford our doctors the opportunity to do that within the network of practices that we've built. It's definitely great to come down here. You obviously do need to pass the Delaware board exam and get that license. But
talk to us about this. So if someone's watching today, they say, okay, board exams have already made me break out in hives, even me. But you guys will say there's a dentist in Philadelphia, a dentist in New Jersey, dentist in Maryland, and I've connected you guys with awesome associates already that you have walked through the board exams. So let's just break this down a minute like a play in basketball. Dr. Guac's watching. He reaches out to you. You can text Delaware to 215-543-6454. When can they take the board exam? What's the walkthrough look like? How do you get them patients? Break that down.
Yeah, no, and I think it's more than a walkthrough. I mean, we truly want to hold your hand or
hand holding. I like that better. Yes.
And maybe in some regards, kind of put you on our back. So yeah, reach out to start the relationship. That's really where everything starts with us. We want to find the right person to join our organization. That's what enables our culture to be something that's a competitive advantage for us. And that's what enables us to go grow the way we want to. So we find a good doc, we connect with them, and they're interested in the board. Typically that sets up a first conversation with Dr. Kyle Green, who's our Chief Clinical Director, and Dr. Ryan Robinson, who's kind of our visionary, to really just make sure it's a good fit for the organization. If and when we believe that's true, we set up a whole process. So through our general dental practices, we'll start screening for patients for the exam, because it is a live patient exam. You have 2 days, about a day and a half worth of procedures that have to get done. There's a variety of procedures there. We find qualified patients. We provide the facilities where you can come down, do the charting and the imaging that's required. A lot of the folks that we've walked and handheld through this exam have taken advantage of assistance from our practices, which is great because some of them have sat through 5, 6, 7 of these exams. So they know the run of the show. They can really calm the nerves of the dentists that are there performing. And then we have a lot of the, study guide and concepts that are going to be needed throughout that. So we can really show you start to finish, all of the things that are going to need to happen. There is a level of effort required on everybody's part to do it. But for any competent dentist, we can take a lot of the administrative hurdles off the board, so you can show up, have great patients, do great dentistry, and pass that exam. It is limited. It's January and June every year, and they do limit the amount of entries. It's
So
typically
reach out to you now, because maybe doing the June one makes the most sense. So text Delaware to 215-543-6454. Dennis Job Connect team, put your email in the chat and say, if you want to connect with Dane, Chief People Officer of the REM team, you can do that. Next thing I want to ask you is, you guys, we've really worked well together. We've had fun. We've had dinners. We've done events. We've done stuff, but you are a normal person. You're a non-dentist, Dane, right? So this is key. Many groups have a Dane type person that helps recruit dentists who are not dentists, which I think is awesome, because I think it's a great way for you to share your story. But you currently have not held a drill inside of an operatory doing a filling at any time. So you've been to our events in person. We've had a table and met people. You've come to online. Why is it so valuable for groups that want to grow to show up in person and meet people? Why can't they do it all through Indeed? Why can't you do it all online, Dane? It's 2023. What is the value of you showing up and sharing your story at the Warwick Hotel across the table to a fourth-year dental student?
Yeah, I think the value is simply the connection you can make. It's much easier to make that in person. And it is as vital of a thing as it can be for us, is to find that right person. We will overlook the skill set that you have because we know we can train you if you are the right person to come into the organization. So just showing up, being able to connect, I do agree, and your audience is unique in a lot of ways, and I think that's special, that they are people that tend to have good personalities, like to show up to these events, have fun, and that's core to the culture that we want to build. I said it earlier, like, we want people to walk into our practices, not only take great care of the patients, but build a team environment that allows everybody to thrive. So connecting in person, it's second to none in terms of how you.
And I would say it's making both parties do something that makes sense. Sometimes, again, what I say, kindly annoy them, do it. You're really easygoing, but why spend a Sunday at the Warwick in April? Because you're going to enhance the trust factor for the REM team, and you cannot enhance that trust factor solely online. And then these new dentists, they're going to enhance trust factor by meeting you. And it's just, I believe that the pandemic has caused a problem with people thinking everything can just be done online and on Zoom. And when it comes to signing up for a job, and then you guys signing up for someone to take care of your patients, I just think it's so awesome that you are sponsoring this event next week to do amazing things, provide free food and fun for the community, but also get people to say, hey, the REM team exists. And there are a number of dentists that you probably text with daily that are pretty happy I connected them to your team. Would you agree?
I would wholeheartedly agree, and that number continues to grow, and I hope to see it grow even more in the future here.
My finale for dentists, I talk about money, mentorship, and morale, right? So let's just go through these in a set. For example, we'll say money till the end. Let's talk about mentorship. Someone says, okay, this sounds good. I'll take the Delaware boards, but is the REM team just going to stick me in an office by myself? Do I get to connect with people like Kyle Green? Can I text him? Do I get hands-on training? Do I have C? What if I feel stuck? Because groups, this isn't total criticism, Dane, but some of them, not saying REM team, will just hire someone, stick them in office B by themselves, and they feel siloed, they feel lonely. What's the mentorship look like in the REM team?
Yeah, I think it's 4 points for us, and I'll go through them quickly. One is understanding the skill and the mentality of the provider and putting them into a practice that they're going to be successful in. So that's the first part. It's not even mentorship, it's just understanding where they want to be, what they want to do, get them there. Secondly, all of our doctors have direct access to Kyle Green, who is our chief clinical officer. Doctors that don't even come work for us, when we bring them down for an interview, get his cell phone. And this is to quote him, you can reach out to me for anything, anytime. Like, you don't have to come work for us. That's the mentality he has. Third is, typically when a doctor wants to come and work and do a new procedure, we do like a buddy system. So say we have a younger doc that's interested in going down like an implant pathway, we'll connect them with a doctor that has been doing that for a number of years, and you got that. And then the final point is Dr. Robinson runs a study club every month for all of the doctors within our portfolio. And that's just an opportunity to come together, connect. A lot of that's personal development. We do some clinical topics, but it's just an opportunity to build a camaraderie across the entire portfolio of practices, which is great.
Love that share for mentorship. We're going to save money till the end here in a minute, but this is a tougher one to talk about, but this is how I describe it. I did some videos on this. Do you want to walk into where you work? Do you want to walk into where you work? And this doesn't just fit with dentistry, but there are associate dentists right now that are making good money and might have good mentorship from the lead team, but the morale in their offices is toxic. It's a problem. The assistants fight. The front desk doesn't listen to them. And even though they feel like they have a Kyle Green out there, and even though they feel like they're making $350,000 a year, they're having morale problems. And I bet you their leadership wants to change that. Tell us how you guys ensure good morale, right? I know dental offices, they're like circuses where the animals don't try to eat you, just slowly annoy you to death. So I was in mine yesterday. I don't want new dentists to think in an overly delusional way that everybody's perfectly happy all the time, but a morale where people have your back. Talk to us about that for the REM team.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, right? I think this is something we constantly focus on, because the minute you take your finger off the pulse, it can go sideways, right? So it's important to us. Culture is very important to us. That starts, every day with a morning huddle that likely across all of our practices, we share like a positive quote of the day just to get people in the right mindset. We're doing things where we're communicating any changes in a very proactive way to make sure people understand the why behind the things that we're doing. And then from a leadership perspective, just making sure all of our office managers and above kind of feel the support of the entire organization, that we can get the right people, we can work through any of these little issues and just maintain the camaraderie and the culture that we have in these practices. So it takes touches every day. We're very deliberate about that, because culture will lead strategy for breakfast, right? I think
that's it. Yeah. It's a very,
we know what our mission is. It's to provide a great patient experience. It's to provide comprehensive healthcare. We cannot do that without every single team member rowing in that direction. We call it the connected patient experience. The front desk to the back to the front, all has to be clicking for that patient experience to be great, for that patient to say yes to the treatment that they need, and for our docs to be successful. So that's
I love that quote by Peter Drucker. And one that I add to, and I say a lot, is I'm a dentist and you're not a dentist. So this is me being a dentist sharing this with you. Money doesn't solve morale issues for a dentist. So when there's someone that says you can make $700,000 as an associate living in Omaha, Nebraska, but if you are there and you don't have good morale, it ain't solving your problem. Money does not solve morale issues. But now we're into the money part. And I love to just teach, and I wouldn't have known this as a new dentist. Somebody works 200 days a year, Dane, for your organization. And let's not take the top of the top or the low of the low.
Yeah.
They're doing the bread and butter. I call kale and quinoa dentistry. They're doing some crowns, they're doing some fillings, they're adding in some additional things. Maybe they remove teeth and do bone grafting. Maybe they do some simple endo. Just walk us through how it's very reasonable for them to earn $350,000 a year, working 200 days a year.
Yeah, I mean, that is our goal. And that's, to your point, that's probably our goal on the mid to low end. Obviously, a lot of factors go into that around tenure and experience and the services that you provide. But we set daily goals for our providers that our offices are driven to make their schedules productive to meet those targets. The good news about Delaware, especially as compared to states like Pennsylvania and New Jersey, is the reimbursements, if you're in a practice that has insurance or PPO plans, tend to be 30, 50, sometimes 100% higher as well. So you're getting paid twice as much money to do the exact same level of work. Our compensation plans are very standard across all of our docs in our organization. So it's very easy for us to understand how many patients we need, what type of procedures to get them to a point where I would say 350,000 for really any doc with a couple of years experience working that 200 hours a year is well within target.
And I'll share, as a dentist who's just in my own office with my associates, you work 200 days, right? Let's say you got to do $900,000 of collections to get to that, right? So now you're at like $4,500 a day. And if you do 2 crowns that are $1,400 each, and you take out some teeth, it's very easy to get there. Just like when the Eagles maybe throw 4 touchdown passes in 1 quarter, it's easy for them to get 28 points. And I just like to teach new dentists that there's just wildly amazing, awesome things happening because there's a need for dentistry. You get trained to do it. and then you just go and do it. So I love everything you've shared, Dane. We're going to see you at the networking event. Text REM to 215-798-9897 or reach out to DennisJobConnect.com to get connected with the REM team. Thanks so much for joining us, Dane.
Thanks, Paul. See you next week.